Ooh. Hello YouTube, Warewulff here, and today we're going to talk about the Nintendo Classic Edition. First we're going to talk about obtaining this thing upon release, then we're going to do a little bit of an unboxing, and then finally we're going to follow that up with some gameplay and comparison to older versions of these games. So at the top of the list we've got getting this thing. Websites were sold out almost immediately in every sense of the word. GameStop seemed to be doing a sort of time release where every 20-30 minutes more were added, so you had a better chance of getting it there, but their site was so slammed that it kept going down, loading was super slow, and it took like 3 to 5 minutes to know if you even got anything in your shopping cart. Amazon was sold out in under a minute, and I personally tried to go out to Walmart at midnight to try and pick one up, but by the time I got there at about 11:45, all 6 that they had in stock were already spoken for, so I was turned away. With all the methods that we had tried to purchase online, the one that I thought was most successful was probably Fry's, where I put in an order, and so did my wife. We were both taking a chance at different stores hoping we'd get one. The thing is, Fry's doesn't actually charge you for your online order unless it's shipped to home, which they weren't allowing for the Nintendo. So under those circumstances, it's more like kind of a hold or a pre-order than it is actually purchasing. They don't charge you until you go into the store, pick it up at the register. So thinking that they might not follow through with that if people lined up at the store in the morning there, I ended up going to my local Target at 6:40 in the morning, knowing they had 26 or 27 in stock there. So after about an hour and a half in line, I finally got to purchase mine, went home super excited, and then a little bit later, Fry's called me saying that I was going to get an email confirming my order, saying I was going to have it, but that they had already sold out, so I wasn't. So had I not gone to Target that morning, I probably would have been pretty pissed at Fry's, but seeing as I did, and I got one, it's fine. I also want to mention that my wife did try to purchase an extra controller because it only comes with one. She still hasn't received a confirmation for that purchase. We still don't know if we're getting that extra or not. It's not a huge deal considering it works with the Wii Classic controller, and I have one of those. So let's go ahead and get to the unboxing. First, let's look at the box. It's very pretty. It'll make a nice display on this little mess I have going on. On the back, it tells you all 30 games that are on there. I have about half of them already on the NES, and then a couple more on the Wii, but there are a few on here that I really wanted for a while. One that I gave away to a friend of mine, so now I have that again, which is pretty cool. I also, before we open this box, just want to mention how little this thing is probably going to be, because the box it comes in is smaller than the original NES. Like, this is gonna be tiny. So the first thing in the box when you open it is a warranty manual and setup instructions in the old style of the original NES. And on the other side of those instructions is a pretty cool little retro poster that I'm probably gonna end up framing. Next thing to come out of the box is the NES Classic Edition itself. Now this thing is super tidy. I dare to call it cute. Now, on the back, it's got an HDMI port. All the games are output in HD, so supposedly the image is super crisp. We'll see in a bit what that looks like. Next, let's look at the front. As you can see here, I'm gonna get it up real close for you guys. It uses the Wii remote port that you would plug a nunchuck into on a Wii remote or anything like that. Next to come out is the controller. This thing looks identical to the original NES controller. Here's an original for comparison right next to it. You can tell mine is a little more yellowed, but it's like 28 years old. Whereas the new one is nice and clean gray, but they are identical. They feel identical in hand. There's just a slight difference on what's on the back, but it's even got the little divot right next to the cord. I love this. This is awesome. My only issue with it is the cord is really short. I'm going to say this is about 2.5, definitely under 3 feet long. You're probably going to want to buy an extension cord for yours if you plan on trying to do across the living room or anything. Once you get this thing fired up, you're treated to a very nice looking interface that shows you all the games available on the system and where you are in the listing of games. As you can see, it shows you if the game is 1 player or 2 player, and those 2 player games that are highlighted in yellow signify that it's 2 players at the same time. Using The Legend of Zelda, we're going to compare what the game looks like across the NES Classic, the Wii U Virtual Console, and the original NES. Right here we have the NES Classic, which looks absolutely amazing. This is the standard format 4:3 aspect ratio. Now up in the top left we have Pixel Perfect, looks just as good, it just squares off the pixels. Up at the top right we have the CRT filter, which attempts to emulate what it looked like playing on an old tube TV on the NES. However, I find this hurts to look at for extended periods, so I don't use it. On the bottom right we have the original NES, which looks pretty good, but the capture doesn't really account for how bad it looks coming through an HD TV. And finally on the bottom left, and most disappointingly, we have the Wii U. It just looks so faded and dim. The Wii U's emulator is nowhere near as good looking as the NES Classic. Before moving on, I would like to note how demonic Peach looks in Super Mario 2. In this side-by-side, you can see just how much clearer the NES Classic looks over the original NES. And then here in Mega Man 2, another example. These waterfalls gave me such a headache playing on an HD TV with the original NES, but they look really nice on the NES Classic. And here we have Kid Icarus. You can really see the difference, how much better the NES Classic looks than the other two. Once again, the Wii U just looks extremely disappointing considering it's a recent generation console. That's gonna do it for this video. I enjoyed making the video, hopefully you enjoyed watching it. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you enjoyed this, that'll help. I'll probably do more unboxings in the future. I do plan to get back on the video making train and get some more reviews out there, retro reviews, things like that. I've got a huge catalog of games I'd like to talk about with you guys. So thanks for watching and have a good one.